Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, everything you need to know about the new features coming to Apple TV with the massive upgrade of tvOS 18. We'll break that down. Paramount's merger, Paramount Plus, kind of forces habit. Paramount's merger with Skydance Media is dead. We'll tell you what's happening there. And as cable TV bills continue to rise, the number of channels continue to decrease. This news and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, I'll put a link to each one I talk about in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. If you're new here, do me a big favor. Could you let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here? It really is a big help. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. So with that said, let's dive into it. This week, Apple announced a bunch of new features coming to the Apple TV with tvOS 18. Enhanced dialogue being the big one. Now, if you're a Roku TV user, you probably use this, been around for many years. It's where your TV automatically detects the voices, brings them to the front, and kind of mutes the background noise. Maybe I'm just getting older, but sometimes it is harder to hear what people are saying when the explosions and music and different things are happening. Maybe that's just the way they're making movies now. But with this feature turned on your Apple TV, you'll be able to quiet the background noise, bring the vocal cords, what I'm saying, for example, to the front so you don't hear the background junk with that. Rolling out with the tvOS 18 update. One of the cool things a lot of streaming players don't support is 21:9 support. Now, if you have a projector, this is where it's going to come into play. You'll be able to get more of a native widescreen movie theater look from your Apple TV with a projector that supports it. Roku, from my knowledge, does not. Most streaming players do not, which is a pretty nice feature there. Now, this, I don't know of any TV. Somebody probably does. Is there a TV out there that supports 21:9 natively without having the letterboxing on it? But this is really targeting people who use projectors to make the Apple TV even a better streaming player for projectors out there. Live captions for it's coming to Apple TV. If you use your Apple TV for FaceTime calls, you'll be able to now take advantage of live captions, which is really nice, especially if you're hard of hearing, to be able to have a conversation with somebody, have what they're saying in real time appear on your screen as a closed caption. So this will all be rolling out right now for developers and this fall for the general public. If you have an Apple TV, it will auto update. But you'll have to wait until this fall. As soon as it becomes officially available, we'll have a post announcing it over at cordcuttersnews.com as soon as we notice it live in the wild. If you see it, send us an email. If you ever have a tip, if you ever have a news tip for cord cutting, go to cordcuttersnews.com, click on the Contact Us button, fill out that form, send us a tip. A lot of these stories come from readers like you sending us tips. All right, Paramount's deal to merge with Skydance Media appears to be dead. The Redstone family, which controls 77% of the voting shares through their national amusement company, has said they decided not to pursue any further negotiations with the company, and they won't be approving a merger with Skydance Media. This puts Paramount back in the position of having to figure out what to do next. It sounds like the Redstone family is more interested in just selling their share than having Paramount merge or be sold. Now with this, they own 77% of the voting shares. They can sell their company that owns those rights, and somebody else will then own it. And when you own 77% of the voting shares, you pretty much own a company. And with that, we'll see. There was a bid from an investor in several $1 billion worth just to buy their shares. Maybe they're seeing that as a simpler, easier way to just get a deal done. But for now, it looks like Paramount's ideas of possible mergers in the future, it's kind of going by the wayside. I would not expect Paramount to merge. For now, it seems like because the controlling family behind it doesn't seem interested in it. Now we'll have to watch to see if they accept an offer to sell their shares or they're just going to keep going as things are now. We'll have to wait and see. This does raise a question though. Currently, there's no single person in charge of Paramount. The idea was a group of senior leaders will run the company until this merger happened, and then Skydance's leadership team would take over. Or we're going to see a shake-up in leadership at Paramount. We'll have to keep a close eye at it. All right, still thinking about cable TV? Still cable TV customer? Have you noticed the bills are going up, but the number of channels you're getting are going down? Now, most noticeably about this was last year with the launch with the new deal with Disney and Spectrum that saw multiple Disney channels leave Spectrum TV, and the price went up. Last year, Spectrum raised their price twice within 12 months, and now they're getting even less channels. Yes, you are getting a few streaming services bundled with that. Comcast is doing the same thing. They're moving some select RSNs to more expensive packages. This has resulted in recently Bally Sports being dropped from Comcast's Xfinity TV service because Bally Sports did not want to move to a more expensive television package. Why move these channels? Well, or remove them all together? Well, because I'm charging you the same amount, right? If I have 100 stations and I charge you $100, let's just do back of the napkin math right now real quick. It means I'm giving about $1 per channel on average. Well, if I keep charging you $100 but only offer 90 channels, well, now I'm getting more money per channel, making my service a little bit more profitable because I don't have to pay the other 10 channels. Look for that to become more common as services struggle to try to stay afloat with the growing drop in advertising revenues and the growth of cord cutting. But for now, let me know, have you noticed you're paying for less content? It's happening all over the board as companies try to find ways to become profitable. Speaking of paying for stuff, the free streaming service Local Now has added 3 new channels. This includes the Carol Burnett Show channel 24/7, BBC Home and Garden 24/7, and Tin's Channel 2 is now streaming for free on Local Now. If you have not tried Local Now, it's a really good streaming service. It even includes most local PBSs streaming for free through it, and a ton of other content, making Local Now a great option for cord cutters. Leave me a comment. What do you think of Local Now? Are you a fan of it? Have you tried it out? I add it to my regular rotation of free streaming services to check out what they have. They've added about 8 or 9 new channels in the last couple of weeks. We have a full list of all the channels that were also recently added in that post. Link in the show notes down below. All right, answering one of your most common questions I get. How do you watch an antenna on multiple devices in your home? You hang one antenna in your attic. Do you need a wire cable to each television? Well, you can. That's one way to do it. Buy a splitter. Do that. You can also use many great streaming devices like a Tablo DVR, HD Home Run, and the like. Connect your antenna to that, and then they stream over your Wi-Fi internet to your different smart devices. The nice thing about that is you don't have to run a wire to each one, which I fully understand is not the easiest thing to do sometimes depending on how your house is designed. Rooftop antennas are always best. What I did is put one in the attic, drop it down into one room, connect it to a whole home DVR like that, and then stream it out to all the devices. I have a full guide on how to do that in the show notes if you want to check it out. Link in the show notes down below. All right. Lastly, the FCC has won a case by the Supreme Court that will allow them to continue to spend $8 billion on rural internet and other needs. Now, this is part of a ruling on the Universal Service Fund. Now, the Universal Service Fund comes from your phone bill. If you ever looked at your phone bill, you see all those little taxes on there. One of them is a universal service fee. Now, originally this was used to help roll out phone service to all Americans. There's several different plans that have been used over time to do that. In the day and age where phone service, landline service is pretty universal, not completely, but pretty, it's now been focusing more heavily on rolling out internet service to rural Americans. A group of Americans challenged it, arguing that this should be something Congress puts into place, not the FCC. The Supreme Court ruled that the FCC acted within the bounds of its founding and of its rules that Congress has put over it to create this fund, and they allowed the fund to stay. This will generate about $8 billion annually towards rural internet development and expansion. Keep a close eye on this. It's not the first time this has been challenged. It's being challenged again. According to Bloomberg, the second challenge probably has a better shot at being successful. But for now, these funds will continue to flow to expand rural broadband. All right, let's dive into a question of the day. If you have a question for me you want me to answer, leave a comment. Start off with something like a question for Luke, so I can know it's something you want me to answer here. Sometimes I answer it in the comments. Sometimes I answer it in a video. Here's one I've been getting a lot lately. With talk of DirecTV possibly being sold by AT&T, what will happen to UVerse TV? Well, interestingly, UVerse TV is now owned by DirecTV. So AT&T bought DirecTV, brought it in-house. A few years ago, I think they realized that was a bad idea. DirecTV's future was kind of weighing down the company as a whole. They spun DirecTV off into an independent company where AT&T owns about 70% of it. Its private equity group owns the remaining of it. But interestingly with that, AT&T still owns a majority. They just get the profit. In that deal to spin out DirecTV and the streaming services, they also spun out AT&T's UVerse TV. So UVerse TV, as it's now called, is owned by DirecTV. A sale of DirecTV would include UVerse TV. It would just probably further distance itself from the AT&T branding on that. Look for that to be probably interesting how long UVerse TV survives, as AT&T moves away from its traditional copper phone lines, DSL, and other services. I'm sure they would much rather move you to a streaming version of DirecTV to be able to stop having the traditional equipment for the older UVerse TV equipment. It's becoming increasingly harder to subscribe to that. Over the years, they've really focused on DirecTV versus UVerse, and it wouldn't surprise me if someday in the future that UVerse branding goes away. Sooner or later, I don't know. Definitely probably one of the first major TV providers, let me rephrase it, major TV providers that's well known by a lot of people to go away. We'll see what happens. Well, there you go. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Be safe. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.